So my name is Robert. I've been homeless since the shutdown happened. I've been down in Carmel River Basin on and off for 2 years. This last time I've been there since right after Thanksgiving. First of all, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I work by, I wash windows for some of the business owners there at the Crossroads. I make my money legally. I don't fly a sign, not that there's anything wrong with it, and I mind my own business, keep it clean. So when they come down and they gave us notices on Thursday, which I don't have time to get into what was wrong with that entire thing. That turned out to be a sham. They gave us notices to be out by Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Well, we were under the impression that the students, social workers from the university were going to be there with the bins and with a truck so we could load everything up. Boom, we're going into a hotel room for 3 days. So they never showed up. I don't know if it was miscommunication or what. So Sunday night, 2 groups of sheriff's deputies come by the campsites to remind us, friendly reminder they say, that we have overstayed the eviction notice, and that they were going to be nice enough to give us a 24-hour extension, which written on mine would have brought me till 10 on Monday morning, 10 a.m. So I set my alarm for 7 o'clock. I only had 2 bins to put together, stuff my backpack with stuff I need for the next couple of days, bring it to the parking lot, put it in storage, and be gone off on my way. So at 6:30, I wake up to the tarp being torn off the top of my tent. I wake up, I see that there's 5 cops on my lot. 2 of them are stuffing random stuff into a bin, just throwing, they don't care what it is and what it's going on top of, they're throwing shit in. So I said, what? I said, I'm so sorry I overslept. It's like, overslept by about a day or something like that, some smart comment. But I thought it was noon, you know, because they never showed up. The university people weren't there, you know. So the reason they weren't there is because it was 6:30 in the freaking morning. They showed up 3.5 hours early before the university people showed up. They wouldn't let my buddy Jason into the site. So I ended up getting arrested, and here's why I got arrested. As I said, I just woke up. I said in exactly this tone, deputies, I respect what you're doing. I don't agree with it, but I'm gonna comply. Can I get my shoes on and grab a couple of personal effects like my license and my medication? Another deputy chimes in, quit talking and start packing, or there's gonna be trouble. Something to that effect. So as I'm rolling up my sleeping bag, I made the comment that as soon as my hands were free, I was going to get my lawyer on speakerphone so that he could be a witness to what's going on, at least audible, at least he could hear it. So anyway, the sergeant, I assume it's the sergeant, lieutenant, whoever was in charge, said if he opens his mouth up if he says one more word, cuff him. So I said, really? It's like that? And I spent the next 36 hours in a holding cell. They charged me with, I don't even know where my paperwork is. They charged me with trespass. They charged me with interfering with the duties of a police officer, ignoring something or another, penal code, blah, blah, blah. It turns out that I did have, and I don't mind this being on camera, I did have a failure to appear warrant for a possession charge, which, by the way, is a whole nother story because I don't even know what it was possession of paraphernalia. I don't even know what that paraphernalia was. They haven't presented it to me or my public defender. They gave me a phone conference court date, and I have no phone. Okay, so I missed the court date. I'm sorry. These sheriff's deputies ran my name every time they encountered me in the past month, which is like 7 times. They ran my name, no warrants. As soon as I get to jail, I got a warrant for a $5,000 bail, right? So I couldn't make a phone call to anybody until after I got processed, which took a full 24 hours. And then I've got some medical issues. One of them is anemia. When my blood sugar is low, oxygen doesn't get to my brain, bad things can happen. I got to eat something. So in there, you can't just eat whenever you want. So I was asking for a piece of fruit or whatever. And I stood up. I had a head rush so hard that I fell down, banged my head on the concrete wall of the cell, and they've got video footage. They have to have video footage of it. Whether they still have it or not, I don't know. Anyway, big knot on my head. My cellmates call for the CO to come. The CO and the nurse show up, and I'm thinking, okay, great, they'll check this out. The nurse has a handful of pills she calls detox pills. What are they? She says that's an ibuprofen, this, that, and one of them was Valium. She told me it was Valium. I needed the Valium, so I took the Valium. 10 minutes after I took the Valium, they came and rolled me up for court. Within 30 minutes, just as the Valium is hidden and my head's still throbbing, I'm in front of a judge, and I agreed to something that I didn't agree to. I mean, I pled no contest to something that I'm still confused on exactly what happened. I was impaired. Nobody bothered to ask me. They used to, back in the day, say, is there anything that's hindering you from, or anything that's influencing your statement today, or your plea? There was nothing like that. I was told that I'd be placed, if I pled guilty to these mocked up charges, these made up charges, these fake charges, if I pled guilty to one of them, that they would issue a year informal probation. This is coming from the lawyer that I've known all of about 35 seconds. He says, if you plead guilty, and I said, I don't want any, you put me on all the probation you want, but I don't want to have to report, I don't want to have to piss in a cup, and I don't want search and seizure. He comes back to me, he says, okay, we've got it. They're about to call your name, which they do. I stand up, Your Honor, give us a few minutes to converse. He's with the DA, blah, blah, blah. Next thing I know, how do you plead? I said, no contest. And so she imposed a sentence, and everything is as I expected. But when she got to the terms of my probation, she says that I had search and seizure. And search and seizure is a setup to get repeatedly busted, or at the very minimum harassed, every single time that you are spotted by a cop that recognizes you. This is a very small town, okay? Between the four cities, I'm talking Carmel, Monterey, Pacific Grove, and Seaside. It's smaller than most small towns combined. I don't know what it's, maybe less than 200,000 people. Anyway, small town, a lot of cops, and now they've got it for me. So anyway, so I get out. I have no money because they give you a check. They take cash. They take cash and they give you back a check. Thank God it wasn't the middle of the night. But my driver's license, I had two of them. And I told the cop that I needed my medication, which, by the way, I never got. I missed a total of 9 doses of my medication that I'm supposed to take daily, 3 times a day. While I was there, I'm sorry, 7 doses. And I asked the police officer, if you're going to grab my license, which I would like you to do, please get the one with the small burn in it, because that's the one that is active. The other is expired. And he says, and I quote, and if I am wrong, I will admit it. But I could have swore that I heard something, I can't quote, but basically here's what it was. He said, where you're going, it doesn't matter if you have a valid driver's license or not. So they gave me my expired driver's license. So when I got out of jail, finally, I couldn't cash my $18 check to get a bus fare to get back to Monterey because nobody would cash it with my expired driver's license. And the reason I didn't call anybody like Wes White here to come pick me up is because when my phone was returned to me, it doesn't work anymore, and I just bought it 4 days prior. I was dumb enough not to have put a locked passcode on it. The alarm went off while I was being cuffed, took it out of my pocket, put it on the back of the car, and that's the last I saw of it until I got released, and my phone does not work. It's not a charging issue, it's dead. It's just done. So I couldn't, I've got $500 that I desperately need because I have no money. I have no food. I have no place to sleep or live now. Mind you, I was down there for 5 months. They knew we were down there. They didn't give us a hard time. Some of us actually got together every couple of months and cleaned the place out. Rented trucks with, and my buddy James has receipts out of his own pocket, paid for trailers to haul this crap out, right? That's where we were getting to, okay? So they send this crew, they came into my campsite on a Saturday morning, the cleaning crew, without even introducing themselves. They only chimed up because I said, who the hell's on my lot? Oh, we're the cleanup crew. We're just reminding you that anything left behind on Monday after the sweeps, we're throwing it in the trash. I said, if you come in, I'm not going to repeat what I said to them. Anyway, we have people that are witness to them separating stuff, okay, that was not taken. Stuff that, and they wouldn't let anybody back down the trail to retrieve anything. My buddy Jason here went to go retrieve my stuff as I'm being let out in cuffs, my medication, number one. and they would not let him. They wouldn't let him back. There was when the college people showed up. The university. Who's the tall guy? The light skinned Cliff. Was his name Cliff? So when Cliff shows up, I start banging my head on the window to get Jason here's attention because I'm handcuffed, not buckled in. So Cliff shows up. Jason gets his attention. Says, "Hey, Rob's in handcuffs in the back of the car." Cliff starts walking towards the car. Another deputy taps the back of the patrol car to let the driver know, don't go anywhere. As Cliff is approaching the car, the car that I'm in starts taking off. Actually, I don't know if he swerved around a speed bump or a person. I'm getting a dry mouth here. But he raced out of there, knocking me all over the freaking place because I wasn't belted in. He pulled over way over by Rio Road to finally strap me in. And he just straight up ignored not only his fellow officers' pleas to hold up, and I heard him justifying this by saying, oh really? I didn't hear that. I don't know what else to say. They've got all of my stuff. They're holding it as evidence in a crime, even though I've been unjustly arrested, tried, and already, and I pled to something that I didn't plead to. It's a closed case, and they still won't release it to me, pending something coming from the court, which they said may not be here tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, I can't get my money because I don't have my ID. I've got very valuable I'm not even going to get into that. My laptop, which I need to make money, $1,200 laptop that I got specifically to make money. My guitar, which was gifted to me after somebody stole mine when I was living at one of my 18 campsites over the past 2 years. And if the cops weren't running us out, somebody's coming through taking all your shit when you try and go out and look for a job or try and get your driver's license. And I Wes nor I have the time or the gigs to sit here and for me to tell you what is going on with the Monterey County Sheriff's Department in particular. It's criminal. It's going to be investigated. If I have to pay out of my own pocket, which God bless, I just got I got a little bit of money, and I can afford to put a few $100s down on a retainer for a lawyer if we all get on board with it. And that's the way it's hopefully going to go. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Peace out.
They took me to jail when I got a DUI.
Okay.
Okay, and that was my bad. You know, I'm dumb like that, but I got a DUI, and they pumped me full of Valium, and when they let me go, I was falling down. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even walk because they pumped me so full of drugs. I couldn't walk.
Isn't it? I thought by law they had to like supervise you for like. Any doctor will do that. You go to the emergency room, they give you a shot of narcotic or something like that. You're not going anywhere till they clear you.
Well, when they came down, I had everything packed up. All I had to do was roll up my bedroll, and Rob came out handcuffed. He's like, I'm going to jail. And they didn't even give him an opportunity to get his crap out of there. And they wouldn't let me go down to pick it up.
I tried to send him in to get my medication at the very, very least. And was begging the officer, Mendez is his name. I think it is Mendez. I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. Of the Monterey County Sheriff's Department is leading me out in handcuffs and tells Jason, no, he's not allowed to get your stuff. I'm sorry, told me first that yes, I could ask my friend to get it. And when I saw Jason, I asked him, and he was told no, he wasn't allowed back there. As a matter of fact, anybody, once they left the river basin, was not allowed back there once the sheriffs got down there. The people from the university that were supposed to be there supervising things, they got there. They showed up an hour earlier than they were supposed to, and they were still too late for the cops to get there.
What happened with that one dude in gray?
He was trying to tell me what this and that and what and the other that I need to do. He tried to tell me I need to get rid of my dogs and this and that.
Oh yeah, how messed up is that? If you want a better life, why don't you get rid of your dogs and get a job?
Right.
These dogs changed my life. I don't know where Trinity is right now, but I've had her for 13 years, and I used to be a thief. Okay, I used to steal stuff. When I got that dog, she totally changed my life. I became
You're strong. You can do this.
I became a better person because of my dog. And now they're like, you need to get rid of your dogs. I'm like, dude, no, that's not gonna happen. No, I will not get rid of my dogs. And who are you to tell me what I need to do in my life? Who are you to think you're a better person to say what I should and shouldn't do? I do good. I'm not a bad person.
But Jason has told me how much he's accomplished so much in life, and like a lot of us out there, never planned on being this way. But in his situation, I hope you don't mind me saying this, he lost his best friend who was his dad. And sometimes it only takes something like that to really push you over the edge to where you just don't give a fuck anymore.
I don't know what it was, but I do give a fuck.
Right.
I do give a fuck, and I care about people. I'm not here to hurt nobody. And I just want to be left alone to do my own thing. I wasn't hurting nobody down there. Okay, so I was trespassing. It's on my side.
Somebody's camp burned down, just like a house fire. The fire department came, were so lackadaisical about the whole thing, and when they left, nobody bothered to find out whose campsite it was, if they were okay.
They didn't care.
Red Cross didn't show up, and people are going to say, Red Cross going to go to a homeless camp in the woods? Are you kidding me? This is these people's homes. Everything they had is gone, and they have their own reasons for being homeless, but it's probably not reasons that you typically think. Okay, people have got to ease up on pigeonholing. My reason to be homeless, my reason I'm not going to get into. It's a combination.
I don't want to either.
Combination. Since I've been homeless, I've been walking around. I've been living this life, so I've been talking to people. A lot of homeless people. The vast majority of homeless people that are my friends to this day are highly intelligent. Okay, and they fall in either the class of being unmedicated, undermedicated, given up because people that love them and care for them and all this other stuff are gone for one reason or the other, and they just quit.
There's a lot of reasons.
And there's so many more reasons. There are very few that are out here because they want to lay around and drink and fly a sign and get free money and do the same thing over and over. They are out here. They are the minority rather than majority. I promise you that this is the case. I had such a great life. I shared a beautiful house in PG with my then girlfriend for 10 years. I had 2 cars. I was building my own little recording studio in the house, little art studio. I had my own business. She had a good steady job with great benefits. Things were great. Between us, things fell apart right around the same time that I got sick with a chronic condition I got, right around the time that the shutdown happened, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff. And I literally almost died twice of infections that the hospital wouldn't treat. I've been to the ER 17 times in 2 years for the same fucking thing, broke my legs. The last time that they said that they refused to help me, they tried to take my phone because I was recording what was going on. I had to crawl, this is a true story and I'm not exaggerating. I crawled into the woods on Canyon Del Rey at the Laguna Grande Park and lay there for 3 days until I managed to muster up the strength to climb or crawl up to Walgreens, got to the front door of Walgreens, collapsed and told the first person I saw to call 911. And they got me back to the hospital and they gave me all kinds of IVs, antibiotics, this, that, and the other. I was naked from the waist down. I had soiled myself. I was burning up with fever. And this is because CHOMP, Community Hospital in Monterey Peninsula, refused to treat me and kicked me to the curb by way of police threat and escort off the property. At 3 o'clock in the morning, they gave me a courtesy ride back over to Seaside, I crawled out of the cop car, crawled into a ditch, and lay there for 3 days. My hand to God. That's the true story.
So
That's how homeless people are treated by the authorities.
I drink too much.
Are you sure?
Everybody tells me I drink too much.
Well,
Okay.
What do you do?
You can refocus energy into something else.
I know. So many people have told me how I should live my life.
I just said could. I didn't say
But
should.
you haven't lived my life.
absolutely right, Jason.
Nobody has lived my life. I do the best I can.
And this brings up a really, really good point. Just because somebody is actively in an addiction, that doesn't make them a bad person, man. By a long shot. I refused to give up my drug of choice for the longest time, and it cost me all kinds of places to live, jobs, this, that, and the other. And when I was ready to stop, I stopped, and I still can't come up with the
And how did you
$3,000
feel? How
it
did that
takes
make
to
you
move
feel?
into a studio apartment in this town, because the rent's over $1,200 for a room the size of this parking spot here. I just looked at a place a couple of months ago. I'm not exaggerating. I could sit on the john and cook my breakfast at the same time. So small, $900, and that didn't include anything, and the place was just nasty.
When I quit drinking, I was really pissed off.
So you
And
used
I
to
did
calm
the
down.
best I could, and I did really good. I came up above.
Wes,
But I quit drinking for like 2 years. And that's really hard for an alcoholic like me. I was growing up in an alcoholic fucking household.
It's United States culture.
Yeah, and that's the
And
going
I
back
did the
to the
best I
sheriff's
could.
deputies. They had
I
they
did
had
the
a
best
chance
I
to help
could,
them.
and